The Bronze Ring. Once upon a time, there was a king who had a vast garden surrounding his palace. Despite having many gardeners and fertile land, no flowers bloomed, no fruits grew, and not even grass or shady trees thrived there. The king was greatly troubled by this situation when an old wise man told him, "Your gardeners do not know their trade. What can be expected from people whose ancestors were cobblers and carpenters? How could they possibly learn the art of gardening?" The king replied, "You are absolutely right." The old man continued, "Therefore, you must find a gardener whose ancestors were also gardeners. Soon, your garden will flourish, colorful flowers will bloom, and you will enjoy delicious fruits." The king then issued a decree throughout his kingdom to find a gardener whose forefathers had also been gardeners. After 40 days, such a gardener was found. "Come, serve as the king's gardener," the king's men said to him. The gardener replied, "How can I go to the king? I am a poor man." "Do not worry about that," they said. "Here are new clothes for you and your family." "But I am in great debt." "We will pay off your debt," they assured him. Thus, the gardener agreed and set off with his wife and son to serve the king. The king was overjoyed to have found a true gardener and entrusted him with the care of his garden. Soon, the gardener transformed the barren land into a lush paradise, and within a year, the garden became a breathtaking sight. Pleased with his work, the king rewarded the gardener generously. The gardener had a son who was exceptionally handsome and well-mannered. Every day, he would bring the finest fruits for the king and the most beautiful flowers for the king's daughter. The princess was extraordinarily beautiful and had just turned 16. The king thought it was time for her to marry. The king said, "My daughter, the time has come for your wedding. I plan to marry you to my minister's son." The princess replied, "Father, I will not marry the minister's son." "Why not?" the king asked in surprise. "Because I love the gardener's son," she declared. Hearing this, the king was furious, then deeply saddened, but the princess remained firm in her decision. The king consulted his ministers, who advised, "The best way to get rid of the gardener's son is to send both suitors on a long journey. Whoever returns first will marry the princess." The king agreed to this plan. The minister's son was given a magnificent horse and a purse full of gold, while the gardener's son was given a weak, lame horse and a purse filled with copper coins. Everyone believed he would never return. The night before their departure, the princess met the gardener's son and said, "Be brave and always remember that I love you. Take this pouch of jewels and use them wisely. Return soon and claim my hand." Both suitors set off together, but the minister's son, riding his swift horse, quickly disappeared into the distance. A few days later, he reached a spring, where an old woman in tattered clothes sat. The old woman said, "Traveler, have mercy on me. I have not eaten for 3 days." The minister's son replied angrily, "Do not bother me, old woman," and rode away. That evening, the gardener's son also arrived at the spring. The old woman said, "Traveler, have mercy on me." The gardener's son replied, "Here, take my purse, mother, and sit on my horse, for you seem too weak to walk." The old woman thanked him and traveled with him. Together, they reached the capital of a great kingdom. The next day, the gardener's son saw a royal announcement: "Whoever restores the king's youth shall receive a great reward." The old woman advised the gardener's son, "Go to the city's southern gate. There, you will find 3 dogs, one white, one black, and one red. Kill them, collect their ashes in 3 pouches, then go to the king and declare that you can cure him." The gardener's son did as she instructed. He was summoned to the court, where he boiled the king in a large cauldron, arranged his bones, and sprinkled the ashes over him. As soon as the ashes touched the king, he transformed into a young man again. The king said, "What reward shall I give you?" "Half my kingdom. My treasure." The gardener's son replied, "I only ask for the bronze ring." The king granted him the ring. The gardener's son then spoke to the ring, "Summon a magnificent ship with a golden frame, silk sails, and a crew of 12 handsome young men." Immediately, a grand ship appeared, and he set sail. To be continued.